He's the one who ends up helping to end the Cold War, which had bedeviled the world for so long. He is the one who makes advances in nuclear disarmament as well. How do you understand the kind of contradictory elements of Ronald Reagan? How do you make sense of that?
It's not easy. All that is true. There were different interpretations as to how he journeyed from his very hawkish first term into a much more diplomatic second term. And the first term produced some of the largest anti-nuclear protests in the world, particularly in Europe. They were very worried about him. I don't know if you remember the British TV show Spitting Image.
I do.
They had a cartoonish version of Thatcher and Reagan was always in his pajamas, and beside his bed was the red button. And he'd always be absentmindedly groping for something on and it was this perception that he really had no idea what was going on. And he didn't necessarily understand the intricacies of nuclear arms negotiations. So those of us who were interested in international affairs were kind of despondent by 1984. By the time that the second election was occurring, we thought this was not going to be a presidency, if he was reelected, that was going to produce anything useful in foreign policy or in international affairs. And of course, we were shocked and surprised to discover that it did. It ended the Cold War.
How did he do it?
Well,
how did he contribute to it?
We're all divided on this. There are a number of different opinions, so I can give you both. On the right, it's because his hawkishness forced the Soviet Union to come to terms with the contradictions in its own economy. Gorbachev wanted to make economic reforms, and he knew he couldn't do it unless he curbed the military budget. And so that meant getting out of Afghanistan. That meant reducing their arms expenditures, the size of the Red Army in general.
The Soviet Union essentially couldn't compete with the United States.
That was the perception. So the conservative view is that Reagan forced Gorbachev to come begging for a settlement and got it. And Reagan famously went to Berlin and asked for the wall to come down.
Tear down this wall, Mr. Gorbachev.
Wall. And within a few years, it actually happened. That happened under Reagan, and it happened because he was astute enough to realize that he could deal with Gorbachev, and that Gorbachev was a genuine modernizer, not a traditional child of the Stalinist era. That was an important thing that he was able to pick up, that he wasn't so ideologically hidebound afterwards that he would miss that opportunity. So he does deserve certainly credit for that.